Alright, go YouTube. Hope y'all are ready for the mix. Season 2 of Street Fighter 6 has been out for a minute, and the changes? Oh boy, the changes. Reacting to fireballs is now a myth, but now there's an avenue for better overhead, more damage on level 2. So, I'm quite content for now. If you're back for wave 3, then you already know the cannon drill. The simple stuff first, then the big waves. Let's get to it. Same principle as the last mini DI from wave 2 with a less drive gauge. You can whip standing or crouching like punch since their frame data is identical. Although the screen movement will partially hide it this time. If they don't DI back or use meter, they're going to eat more damage. Don't forget the mental stack of this option. Here's some spacing utility with an empty spin knuckle. The higher strength you use, the less plus you are, but don't let that fool you. Light is plus 10, medium is a deceiving plus 7 that screams don't delay tech, and heavy is plus 2 and for your opponent, uncomfortably close. Mid-screen, the opponent can get out with back recovery until they get closer to the corner. This is a commitment to observing the enemy's response or keeping up the offense. Choose your option wisely, and the match could be in your hands from this alone. Y'all know what time it is. The target combo buff helps Hooligan out so nicely I laughed like a madman when the patch dropped. As you're seeing now, reverse edge is no longer easily contestable on block because it's a guaranteed melee that lands 0 and is now plus 10 without counter hit. Going into the corner, you will still get crouching hard punch, but you wouldn't be able to follow up after. A bit further in, you'll get the natural crouching medium punch link for better combos. My tip here would be to keep that link for when their back is right against the wall so you don't fumble and lose serious momentum. The overhead isn't the only disgusting meaty here. From mid-screen, dive kick is on its very last active frame, so the advantage is insane at plus 9 on hit and plus 3 on block. Oh, you're also in throw range by the way. Back recovery won't matter with both of these options once they're being pushed to the corner and they're both on the first possible input frame. Auto timing at Cammy's an advantage. Okay, maybe the spin knuckle change is justified. Oh, no, it's not. This misses outside of the corner. Capcom, please buff. Jokes aside, going into mid-screen, this won't do one bit on auto timing. Although I did make notes, recorded footage on how to make it work into mid-screen by delaying the follow-ups, and how that would depend on your opponent pressing buttons or not, I'm just gonna dump that footage in the trash and show you the actual adjustments that keeps the setup working nearly the same. Just change light arrow to medium and use heavy Hooligan. That solves the issue. No auto timing on the dive kick. An advantage on block is variable unless you get the manual timing down to hit the 33rd frame every time like a bot to keep it plus 2 regardless of recovery. Light silent step is -4, punishable by a fast crouching jab, but once you successfully condition the opponent to do something extra on wake up, it's good. Reverse edge must be delayed for a natural hit on back recovery, between the 40th and 41st frame, but it's still meaty on neutral recovery. Fatal leg twister can be delayed to frame 37, so the 3-way mix-up is still present. Here's a few examples of dive kick hitting the sweet spot on back recovery. Back in the corner, both of these options also beat the new wake up drive reversal mechanic. The dive kick is also an auto shimmy tool on characters with a standard throw range. It's more safe to take a step back and crouch back regardless, but keep this in mind to get into the opponent's head. Delaying fatal leg twister to frame 39 through 41 beats any standing button or reversal that's not meter burned. We've got one more option before we move on to Overdrive, and that's silent step. Preferably used as another observational tool or bait. Light's -3, medium's -2, and heavy's -1. Used rarely or not at all while in the corner. You risk being backthrown or getting countered into damage or a side switch, and that's a high risk. You wouldn't want to take that late into a match or on set point. Now, the Overdrive options, but this time we're starting with silent step. It's basically a reverse of the non-OD version. Light's 0, medium's +1, and heavy's +2. Those are more healthy numbers for continuing corner pressure. Medium OD is an auto shimmy on neutral recovery. and heavy OD is an auto shimmy for back recovery. We're diving into no auto timing territory again here, but it's just off by 1 frame. Using medium OD to heavy dive kick is key to catching both recovery options. You'll get the most advantage by activating on frame 33 and releases at frame 38 that changes depending on the opponent's recovery, unlike the former. I also should point out that the delayed strikes 2 frame gap on the back recovery here to prevent an easy perfect parry. Heavy OD reverse edge chases both recoveries and hits meaty, but it'll be plain old +8 on regular hit. Counter hit will have its expected +10 straight through. That's a lot to take in, and we still got a good chunk of tech to cover. It's crazy how one change opened up this much stuff. Although not as insanely plus on block as a setup from wave 1, Meaty Razor Edge uses 0 drive block and still manages to be +3. It's reminiscent to the empty Razor fake out, but instead of being on whiff, it's on block. Light and medium remains on your side, and heavy switches on neutral recovery. We've got another delayed reverse edge, but now it's on the later frames. Medium Hooligan will cover both recovery options, and here's the footage of frames 48 through 52. The latter is another perfect parry prevention and should be the main timing to use. The earliest here is more beneficial in the corner, because by using heavy Hooligan instead, reverse edge becomes +1 on block. Yes, reverse edge is now freaking plus on block, and you have to hold that. It's best to keep an eye out on the position of the hit and block sparks to confirm if you're plus or neutral. Meaty reverse edge beats wake up drive reversal, but delayed gets caught in its last recovery frame. For Cannon Strike, we'll be using heavy Hooligan and acting on the last input frames here as well. While using dive kick a bit earlier is still damn good, waiting until the last seconds gave you perfect parry bait and leaves you +3 on block. This recovers quick enough in both scenarios to make it seem like a sick wake up drive reversal call out. We're going to be +9 on hit and +11 on counter hit. Silent Step gets even more plus on use here compared to earlier. Light's +8, medium's +9, as well as an auto shimmy on neutral recovery into mid-screen. Heavy's +10, making it the preferred corner option. Fun note, forward hard kick can punish wake up jab for style points. Fully charging into strike is a natural 2 frame gap. You'll be either 0 or +2 on block if the opponent uses neutral recovery and back recovery respectively. Both recoveries also affect the advantage on hit and counter hit as well. This setup feels likely to be landing counter hits more due to the gap, so be sure to practice recognizing the counter hit pop-up. You'll always be at least +6 if it appears. If it doesn't, you can confirm into a standing light punch. Charging into Fatal Leg Twister is an absolute menace of a tactic. It's frame 1 on neutral recovery, meaning the opponent had better guess right on defense. For back recovery into the mid-screen, you'll need to delay it to the 52nd frame, so this grab is highly effective against anything non-crouching, even with the delay. The damage scaling change doesn't affect this version of Fatal Leg Twister, only its faster Overdrive version. Now, charging into reverse edge is a high-risk, high-reward scenario. There's a 7-frame gap before it's active, so you can be standing jabbed out of the air and comboed if the opponent is aware and has the juggle. The difference in activation timing, Fatal Leg Twister and dive kick to reverse edge is a 5-frame difference. So if you've been using the delay tech, the opponent has to gamble just as much, if not more than you in this scenario. Charging into silent step is cursed. It was -6 when I was making notes and it changed to -7 during the recording. Half charging, however, is an okay fake out since you will be +2 or near to it and no longer punishable. OD Razor is an out of the ordinary here. Use the heavy Overdrive Hooligan to catch both recovery options. Now, Overdrive Strike is an odd case. Not only is it delayed, but you've got a 5-frame window to hit on both variants, and that'll grant you really good advantage on hit or block. Out of these 5 frames, the third will hit differently. So similar to the charge cannon strike scenario, you'll be at least +7 here on regular hit and at least +9 on counter hit. It's a 1 out of 5 chance to hit the odd frame, and focusing on using heavy OD at its latest will lead to more consistent results for better control and damage. Light OD can have its uses just as well. Oh, almost forgot. This is another auto shimmy against standard throw range. Silent step can cover less distance and become even more positive with the OD version. Once you're not too close to the corner, cancelling immediately keeps you out of throw range on neutral recovery. I've found that delaying until the audio cue of ready still nets enough positive frames to keep the pressure going. Using medium OD with proper delay is another auto shimmy, so getting the right timing here is a rather nasty mix-up. Light OD is always out of normal throw range and more optimal against bigger throw ranges. And finally, Overdrive reverse edge can be immediately cancelled to be meaty or delayed to create a perfect parry trap. Heavy OD covers both wake-up options. And that about wraps it up. Enjoy this little not-so-secret and reset secret for getting to this point. Hopefully this will be uploaded successfully before CEO 2024. If anyone out there is attending, I'll be glad to chat and catch some matches. This is Monoko, signing off. See you guys around.
Hey, had to get nasty with this. For all you rug rats, get the classy with this. I'm chucking from this time and make you feel with the deal. No one playing with the steel, going pale off your shield. Make you feel angelical, elevated. You think about now yanking at your pedestal. So the levels I'm gaming, now you aiming for the pedestal. You can never attain me, see you shooting for a shadow clone. Going sage mode, claim your face good. But they ask the CID like you in plain clothes. Hold that down on PIP like you got spermed on it. Sermons Usher on the speed, I let it burn over. Billion degrees, thinking you still in my league. You need to be honest, I'm coming through with that heat. Yeah, you won that game, was almost through with the sweep. So compare it to a king, tell me who the MVP, huh?